had you been more acceptable by society at that particular time, you might not have had that opportunity to grow.
This is our 6th Hall of Fame induction, and this is what we do. We normally do it in April, but this year I wanted to make it part of Black History Month because we inducted one of the gentlemen who played on the first basketball team in 1948 and 3 gentlemen who played on the very first football team in 1949.
Played football 4 years, ran track 2 years, and played basketball 2 years. I lettered in football 4 years, made All-City 3 times. The only player in the city of Atlanta High School that made All-City 3 times, Atlanta World. The big difference back then is that you had to be more of a football player than you will now. Now you get a concussion that said you got knocked out, you had to stay out for a week. Then you got knocked out, you went back in the ball game. At that time, you had 1 pair of shoes, now you have 3 pair of shoes. We didn't have face masks or face gear, we just had leather helmets. So it's a big difference now than it is then.
It was just so hard for them guys. The uniform, the helmets, everything was different back then than it is now.
My high school coach was a guy by the name of Calvin Monk Jones, who was a fiery coach who taught us discipline. He taught us to run and gun with basketball. We had a great team. We ended up winning the state championship over Northside.
There wasn't much life on campus back in the time. Now, I came here in '49 and I stayed to '53. There was not anything here that you could go do other than to come in the building and go to class. There were no dances, there were no social activities, there were no snack bars, there were no plays or nothing like this. You came here for an education to learn a vocation. Otherwise, you was in shoe repair and you stayed 2 years, you were gone. You was in bricklayer and you stayed 2 years, you were gone. But unfortunately for me, I had 4 years because I came in the 9th grade. So I had to take bricklayer in 2 years and tailor in 2 years. You couldn't stay in the same trade over 2 years.
And he's a member of the old timers. That is for former students 60 and up. Please welcome Mr. Jimmy Askew.
We played as a team, we stayed together as a team. Now, kids today, I think, is more individualized. A lot of kids look at statistics because it's all about whether I get that major college scholarship, which if you're good anyway, whether you're an outstanding player or mid-level player, the schools are gonna look at you no matter what. But I think back then, you had kids that stayed together as a team because of where they came from, and they knew what it took in order to be winners.
If you left your mark, it's easy. It's easy. If you came to Carver earlier and gave your best, it's easy to come back. But if you didn't, then you got to stumble. But I think, in not using a personal pronoun, I gave my best, so it's very easy for me to come here and be truthful.
This was one of the great and best high school you could ever went to. We had plenty of fun. It was hard, but it was great.